8 on Radio St. George 100.3.
Hi, this is Tyler from Hash House A Go-Go, and we've decided to sponsor the DSU radio program. At Hash House A Go-Go, we offer unique dishes, generous portions, and our light and twisted menu with smaller portions. Recently, Hash House A Go-Go was voted best in Southern Utah for breakfast and brunch, serving Indiana home-style food with a West Coast twist. Hash House A Go-Go by the Red Cliffs Mall, putting the fun back into food.
Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln is a proud supporter of the sports broadcasts you hear on Radio Dixie 91.3. Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln carries a variety of new and used vehicles at 145 West Hilton Drive in St. George and stgeorgeford.com. Radio Dixie 91.3 wishes to say thank you to Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln for their generous sponsorship of the DSU sports broadcasting you hear on Radio Dixie 91.3.
This week for Dixie Sports, on the 12th of September, the women's volleyball team will be taking on Texas Permian in the LCU Chap Classic in Lubbock, Texas at 5 p.m. Then the women's soccer team will be taking on Point Loma at Point Loma at 4:30 p.m. Then on the 13th of September, the women's volleyball team will be taking on Pittsburgh State at 5 p.m. Then the men's soccer team will be taking on Eastern New Mexico at 7:30 p.m. at Trail. Then on the 14th of September, the women's volleyball team will be taking out Lubbock's Christian in the LCU Champ Classic in Lubbock, Texas. Then the women's soccer team will be at Concordia Irvine at 1 p.m. And finally, on the 15th of September, the men's soccer team will be taking out Texas A&M International at 1:30 p.m. at Trailblazer Stadium. For more information on these games, please visit DixieAthletics.com and listen to Radio Dixie 91.3.
From KUER News in Salt Lake City, this is Radio West. I'm Doug Fabrizio. As a lawyer, John Roberts made his first argument before the U.S. Supreme Court in 1989. His hands were shaking. This is nerve-wracking for anyone, even someone so prepared and composed as he is. He managed to hold on to the lectern to steady himself, and he killed it. He won the case. He won most of his cases because Joan Biskupik says Roberts is brilliant and has always been intensely focused. And now, she says, he finds himself at the center of the law in America. John Roberts is not just a conservative justice, he's the Chief Justice of the court. And so how will he manage his lifelong commitment to conservative principles and his obligation to find common ground? Biskupik will join us to talk about which path Roberts will take in the coming years. Join us.
Radio West with Doug Fabrizio, Saturdays at 6 and Sundays at 3 on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
Hey Google, play Radio St. George. Tune in.
Oh, yeah.
Good afternoon.
Good
this
afternoon.
is KDXI St. George, Radio St. George at 100.3 FM.
Here we are.
And we welcome you to Startup Nation.
Ed Tracey here, keeper of the flame, king of Street Fest.